We are living in an age of loud billionaires. We wake up to Elon Musk's tweets. We analyze Jeff Bezos's body transformation. We argue about Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. The media wants you to focus on them. They are the celebrities of capitalism. But while you are distracted by the puppet show, you are missing the man pulling the strings. There is a ghost in the machine of the global economy. A man who doesn't need to post memes to move markets. A man whose company manages $10 trillion. Let me put that number into perspective. That is more money than the GDP of Germany and Japan combined. It is enough to buy every single company listed on the London Stock Exchange and still have trillions left over. If this company were a country, it would be the third largest economy on Earth, right behind the United States and China. His name is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. Some call him the King of Wall Street. Others call him the architect of the New World Order. But the truth is much more terrifying. He is the reason your rent is skyrocketing. He is the reason corporations are suddenly obsessed with woke politics. And he holds the only weapon that even the Federal Reserve fears. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the story of how one man conquered the world without firing a single shot. The failure that created a monster. To understand the empire, we must first look at its architect. Because Larry Fink wasn't always a titan. In fact, his empire was built on the ashes of a humiliating failure. Rewind to the 1980s. Wall Street was booming. Cocaine, expensive suits, and high-risk gambling defined the era. Larry Fink was a young superstar at an investment bank called First Boston. He was brilliant. He helped invent the mortgage-backed security market. Yes, the same toxic assets that would later destroy the economy in 2008. But back then, he was a hero. He made the firm millions. He was arrogant. He felt invincible. Until 1986. One morning, the interest rates shifted unexpectedly. The computer models were wrong. In a matter of days, Larry Fink's department lost $100 million. He went from a golden boy to a pariah overnight. He was forced out. His reputation was shattered. While others might have quit, Larry Fink became obsessed. He realized that Wall Street was playing a game of blind luck. They were gambling. He didn't want to gamble anymore. He wanted to be the house. He learned a brutal lesson that would define the rest of his life. To win in finance, you don't need to be smarter than everyone else. You just need to understand risk better than anyone else. So, in 1988, he started a small shop called BlackRock within a private equity firm. It wasn't flashy. It was boring. It focused on risk management. For 20 years, he built his machine quietly, waiting for the world to break so he could come in and fix it. The Yankee Stadium gamble. Fast forward to 2009, the Great Recession. The financial world was burning. Lehman Brothers was dead. Bear Stearns was gone. Panic was the only currency left. But amidst the chaos, Larry Fink saw the opportunity of a lifetime. On April 16, 2009, at the newly built Yankee Stadium in New York, thousands of fans were cheering for a baseball game. But in a private luxury suite, a secret meeting was taking place that would reshape the history of money. Rob Capito, BlackRock's president, pulled Bob Diamond, the CEO of Barclays, aside. Barclays, the British banking giant, was bleeding cash. They were desperate. To survive, they planned to sell their crown jewel, an ETF unit called iShares, to a private equity firm. That is when BlackRock made their move. They didn't just want to buy a company, they wanted to buy the market itself. They asked Barclays a simple yet powerful question. Do you want to play checkers or do you want to play chess? Selling for cash was checkers. Merging with BlackRock, that was chess. The deal was struck for $13.5 billion. It was the heist of the century. With that single signature, BlackRock acquired iShares. Suddenly, they weren't just managing bonds for wealthy clients, they were managing the retirement funds of teachers, police officers, and firefighters across America. They exploded from a large firm into an empire. Larry Fink had effectively bought the operating system of the stock market. The illusion of choice. So, why does this matter to you? Why should you care about a boring asset manager? Go to the supermarket today. Look at the shelves. You see Pepsi and Coca-Cola. You think they are fierce rivals, fighting for your hard-earned money. But look at their shareholders. Who is the top institutional owner of Coke? BlackRock. Who is the top institutional owner of Pepsi? BlackRock. Look at the airlines. Delta, United, American Airlines. You think they are competing for your ticket? Think again. BlackRock is a top shareholder in all of them. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, ExxonMobil, Chevron. It doesn't matter if you buy an iPhone or an Android. It doesn't matter if you fill your car with gas or buy an electric Tesla. In the end, a portion of your money flows into the same reservoir. This is a phenomenon called common ownership. Now, BlackRock will tell you, we don't own the money belongs to our clients. And technically, they are right. But here's the dirty secret. Larry Fink controls the votes. Imagine you are the CEO of a massive company like Coca-Cola. If BlackRock holds 7% of your stock, you listen when Larry Fink calls. If he sends a letter suggesting you change your policies, you don't treat it as a suggestion. You treat it as an order. Because if you ignore him, he can vote to fire you. He can vote to replace your board of directors. He doesn't need to sit in the CEO's chair to run the company. He just pulls the strings from above. This gives him a power that no king, no president, and no dictator has ever had. The power to shape the behavior of the entire global economy without passing a single law. Aladdin, the artificial god. But mere money is not enough to control the world. To control the world, you need information. And this is where BlackRock's true weapon is revealed. It is not a person. It is not a bank vault. It is an artificial intelligence named Aladdin. Aladdin stands for Asset, Liability, Debt, and Derivative Investment Network. It is the most powerful financial supercomputer in history. Aladdin doesn't just track BlackRock's money. It tracks everything. It monitors over $21 trillion worth of assets globally. It scans every trade, every news headline, every interest rate shift, 24 hours a day. It runs Monte Carlo simulations to predict disasters, from pandemics to wars, before they even happen. The scary part? It works too well. In 2008, when the US government needed to save the economy, they didn't know which assets were toxic. Their own computers weren't strong enough. So, who did the Federal Reserve call? They called Larry Fink. They hired BlackRock to analyze the toxic assets of Bear Stearns and AIG. Then, in 2020, when the pandemic hit and the markets froze, the government called Larry Fink again. Think about that for a second. The United States government, the most powerful entity on Earth, relies on a private company's software to understand its own economy. BlackRock has become the Google of financial risk. If Aladdin shuts down tomorrow, the global financial system freezes. They are not just too big to fail, they are too big to exist. The war on your wallet. So, what does Larry Fink do with this godlike power? Does he save the world? Or does he remake it in his own image? Critics say he is destroying the American dream. Right now, BlackRock and other institutional investors are aggressively buying up single-family homes across America. They pay in cash. They outbid normal families by 20 to 50%. Why? To turn a nation of homeowners into a nation of permanent renters. As the World Economic Forum famously predicted, you will own nothing and you will be happy. On the flip side, he is forcing a new ideology onto corporate America. It is called ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Larry Fink writes an annual letter to CEOs. In these letters, he essentially tells companies, "Go green, or we will cut off your funding." To some, this is saving the planet. To others, this is woke capitalism, an unelected billionaire forcing his political views on the entire world. He is playing a dangerous game. Republicans hate him. Democrats distrust him. Even the billionaire George Soros has warned that BlackRock's massive investments in China are a tragic mistake that threatens national security. Larry Fink is walking a tightrope, and if he falls, he takes the entire global economy down with him. The conclusion. So, is Larry Fink a villain, or is he just a genius who capitalized on the system we created? He didn't steal the money, we gave it to him. Every time you put money in a 401k, every time you buy an index fund, you are adding a brick to his castle. Larry Fink once said, "I am not a politician, I am a risk manager." But when you manage the risk for the entire planet, you are the politician. One thing is undeniable. The money in your pocket, the price of your house, and the future of your country are all connected to the decisions made in a quiet office in New York City. We might live in a democracy, we might vote for presidents, but in the world of finance, it is a monarchy, and Larry Fink wears the crown. Thanks for watching. If you want to see how the elite hide their money in secret offshore accounts, click this video right here. And don't forget to subscribe to see the stories they don't want you to know.